G'day and welcome back to Stitch Up and another episode of Voxel Tycoon, episode 17, and this is the Queen's Park Inc. Series. So we're starting with a speed build, something we haven't actually done at this point in time, but what I thought I'd do just for the first part of this episode, we will go into a live play a little bit later, but for the first part of this episode, we're doing a speed build of this major intersection. So I was working out that with these really long trains, see, when you have a long distance to go, and I've got the stone trains, I've got the wood trains that have to go a long way, pass through these areas, and when you're talking 5 or 6 of these massive trains operating, eventually at some point these trains, most of them or all of them, are going to get into the middle of the map at some point and all cross each other. And so I decided to make this intersection into basically a big one-way kind of roundabout. So it's a bit of an exercise in deleting everything. I'm trying to get some of these little bits in here. You can see me trying to get everything spaced nice. But then I think there's there's probably 4 points at which a train can enter and exit into this main kind of roundabout. And forgive me if I'm using the wrong terminology. If you're a train person, it won't be a roundabout. It'll be some sort of siding or something. I don't know. Please leave in the comments if there is a particular name for this kind of one-way, or maybe this doesn't exist in real life. But what happens is we've solved all our problems with this huge intersection, because it allows trains to come in and move around clockwise in this sort of lovely circular space, and you can actually fit 2 really long trains in, one on one side and one on the other. There is some signaling work that needs to be worked on, and I do fix that, so when we come to the live play, I'm still struggling with a bit of that, but you'll see by about the next episode the signaling is kind of bang on for this, and we fix it in its entirety. So yeah, this has been how we've done it. I'm putting our signals in because essentially this is all just a one-way, these are just one-way tracks, and this has been a speed build. I hope you enjoyed that. Part of this episode, and let's just talk about exactly what's happened here. So I guess we somewhat have a success. The loop, the one track, one way system works. Little yellow signal there. Why is he yellow? He goes green. Yeah. So I guess it all works. Now, this was the key here. When I put this chain signal in here, that helped me quite a bit. But I'm still getting trains that are getting stuck somewhat. So I think I'm going to need a few more chain signals to help out. And what we might do, in fact, what we might be able to do is put a chain here. Even though he's not making a decision, we might be able to put a chain signal just there. That could help us. I'm going to see if they get stuck again. They will get stuck again. I know they will get stuck again. But I'm going to see if they do so, exactly what we can do there. So we might swap this over to a chain signal. One other big change I just wanted to show you is this. I've re-engineered the way trains use this big coal station. So, prior to the last episode, we had these 2 heading in this direction, and these 2 were heading back towards the coal, and they will pass through on either side. I've now engineered it so that all 4 are heading basically in this direction straight up, and I think that's east. Yeah, well, it's east as we look at it, but yeah, by our default. So I've had to, then, if we look at the top of the station, I've basically done it so they're like that, chain signals, and I like the way this kind of sits. I think this is kind of a nice little piece of engineering. So I just think that looks kind of a lot better. The other one was a funny little turnaround. This is a nice wide turnaround, and funny enough, this piece of land is perfectly suited to do that turnaround. So I think that's actually really effective. Look at that lovely big wooden train passing that other mixed freight train. It's beautiful. It's a really lovely game, this. I love it. I think this game's just great. Right, here we go. So we got all that basically. So I had to do some adjustments. So if you need to come from this direction and pick up coal, you must take the pass through and do the loop around, and that loop around will force you onto one of these 2 left 1 and 2 platforms. 3 and 4 can be accessed from, if you're coming from the wood end over there, 3 and 4 you can get onto 1, 2, 3 or 4, because you can use that one or that one. So that's all pretty good. Again, that train there should have done the pass through, but maybe eventually there'll be a setting in the game that will say if the train doesn't need to go to that station, it must use a siding track that goes through, which I'm calling pass through. So I think this should be good here. I might just go forward a little bit and we might just have a look at some more signaling, because we could still have some issues here with this. I do have the ability to put this across here and just skip that, but I don't want it to be too complex. So that's all pretty good. And yeah, we're just basically going to let it run for the moment. Look at all the stone, all the woods being made into the two products. Here's the empty train coming back. He is fine with that. We're going to watch some trains transverse here. Here we go. A little bit of a backlog. The coal train ahead moves, which means this one should move. I think we've got ourselves, yep, we've got ourselves our traffic jam again, because we've got two waiting there, one waiting here, one heading in this way. So here we go. So we're just going to go speed 1. Now nothing should stop this train from going left into there, because he can't even turn this way, can he? No, he can't. He must go that way. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I could put myself, I don't like it, but I want to see if I can add another chain signal there. And that means this train now, even though it wouldn't be able to make that turn, it now knows it can't go against the signal, so therefore it's free to clear. So it's adding of an extra chain signal. This guy here is going left, by the way. So why is he... That train's going to move. So this guy's going left. I think we should put another chain signal here and test. He's already moving, actually. So because the one there moved, so we got this one to move, then this one, now this third train. So has that solved it? And if that solved it, maybe we could solve it here by putting extra signals. I don't like spamming signals. I don't think there's any need to do that. Let's do that. Let's put one there. See if it breaks these down a little bit. And let's put another one here. Okay. And let's go to speed 3 and see if we get any more jams now, because we're using the excess. See, look at that. The turnaround was lovely. This will be a nice short episode, like we said. I put in a little bit of a speed run at the start. We're just going to sit here and watch some trains go on speed 3 at the moment, and I want to see if we get any traffic jams, and if we do, I'll fix them off camera and tell you how I fix them. But for the moment, I think the trains all seem to be moving pretty good. Just a thank you to everyone who's been watching my channel as well. You know, during these times when, you know, lockdown and things like that, the channels, I think everyone's digital services have seen an increase, and certainly, see, that train just went through there. Certainly mine have. It's been, you know, there's not many upsides to this whole worldwide debacle, but one silver lining might be that, you know, we're getting a little bit more exposure and stuff. Trying to put that very delicately, because it's an awful situation. And yeah, so let's keep it positive. Oh, I think this is working. So I think okay, let's summarize here. Yeah, the introduction of that signal there, and maybe I think if we get issues here, I think the swapping of him to a chain will be paramount. Yeah, this is interesting. That's something I've just done a train tutorial, and I've just learned another little bit about, well, a train signal tutorial, and I've just learned another thing about train signals by the look of it. So I might have to just run some tests. And again, here we go with these guys. He's going, what's this one going to do? He's waiting for this guy to go. Yep. I think we're all good. So I am happy with that. I think that's been quite lovely. So I hope you've enjoyed this sort of little half episode. It's all been about this big sort of turnaround area. And then it's been about just recapping what happened with the redesign of this, and troubleshooting out for those really long trains. One thing I will do now is probably, is probably go back and extend some of these trains. The stone train could be longer. I think I did extend it recently, but I think the stone train could be, there he is there. I think he possibly could be another 3 or 4 bogies longer. So I'll do that. And yeah, that'd be good. Don't forget to hit the to leave comments if you're enjoying the series. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel Stitch Up and hit that like button. And I will see you in the next episode of Voxel Tycoon. Cheers.